Hey y'all, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out another one of my videos. And if you're new around here, hello and welcome. My name is Katie Marie and I'm a lover of eyeshadow palettes. And today I'm very excited to be sharing with you guys a new palette that I played with on my eyes today, obviously. But it is the Made by Mitchell Feet on the Ground Pressed Pigment Palette. Now I forget exactly when I ordered this, but this took a very long time to get here. And I guess I didn't realize at the time, but I placed a pre-sale order and I think it shipped either the day of or a couple days before or after the official launch of it. So it is finally here. I'll put the information on the screen because I do think it's helpful, but I just didn't grab that information before sitting down to film. So it did take a little long to get here, but this is a brand new brand. If you are unaware, this brand is started by I think he's an Instagrammer. He might be a YouTuber. I don't follow him, but I hear his name all the time. And he's the username mmmmitchell. I think it's like 3 M's in Mitchell. And he started this brand. So it is brand new. So, I mean, they have some kinks to work out. I'm not too mad on it, but I just had to be a little bit extra patient than I thought. But yeah, today we're going to do a good old swatch party video. This video is going to be mainly focused on the swatch party, but I am going to do a little voiceover and share with you guys the look that I got today because I wasn't able to do it live on camera. I'm so sorry. I currently have a sick one at home and I just don't have the nap times anymore to be able to do it on camera. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a voiceover because I did have to do my makeup before he got up today. But yeah, I just was so excited to play with this. I could not wait. So that's why I'm going to do mostly a swatch party. I really want to get into the color store because I remember when I purchased this, there were so many shades in here. I was like, what is the difference? So we're going to swatch it all out and then I want to swatch similar colors together. And then as I said, I will share with you a very quick little tutorial showing you guys the look that I got today. So yeah, that is my plans for this video. But before we do dive into that, let's go ahead and do my Instagram shout out for today. Today's Instagram shout goes to Daisy_Taveras. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. I'm so sorry, but Daisy, you are my Instagram shout out. You left me such a sweet comment on my most recent post. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, Daisy, thank you so much for following me over on Instagram and interacting with my content. I really do appreciate it. And that is my Instagram shout out for today. So with that said, we can go ahead and jump right over. Let's go ahead and get in a little bit of the details about this palette and then we'll get to the tutorial and then we'll get to the swatches. Okay, so I'll go ahead for this purchase. When you do purchase the palette, you're getting the palette. It also has a little box that it comes with, and then on top of that, it also comes in this little pouch. So the price is a little bit high because I definitely thought it was a little bit high for a brand new brand starting out, but you do get a lot of shades. You do get a large palette, in my opinion. It's pretty large. It's the size of my head, but you also get a nice little zipper bag. Now, do I need a little zipper bag? Not really, but you get it, and it's not like a super cheap, in my opinion. I'm not very well aware of quality in bags and stuff like that, but just looking at it and zipping it up, it's a nice little bag. It's got some weight to it. It has some thickness. But like I said, am I going to use this? No. However, my children will enjoy it. I'm sure I will hand this over to them and they will put all their treasures in here and I will get to clean this up around the house for ever. But there is that. And then as I said, here is the palette. It's a very large palette. It looked pretty large from the pictures and getting it is very large. The packaging, I mean, I think it's pretty. I like kind of that messy. I prefer more watercolor when it's this messy with colors, but this is more of, I don't even know what you call this, but mosaic kind of coloring. I do wish that the M was a solid color with the background and then I think I would like it more. But with the M being as chaotic and that kind of mosaic look as the background, it gets very confusing. Like I feel like looking at it, you have to really study it to see the M. I don't know, just a little bit of a detail there that I wish it was just a solid color and I think I would like it more. But besides that, I know a lot of people are dogging on the packaging, but I don't mind it. I think it's pretty. And then we get into the palette. It also has Feet on the Ground up here, which is the name of the palette. I didn't even mention, but it's on there as well. So if you want to store it like this, you could see the name. Nice big old mirror. I rarely ever use new mirrors though, but this is the part that I was all about. This is the color story. I love this color story. I mean, so many of y'all were tagging me underneath this post when it was first announced and shown what this color story was, and you're like, Katie, that green palette looks like you, and I was like, yes, it does. So of course I had to get it. Again, I do wish that the inside maybe was a solid color or maybe a little bit more blurred. I mean, keep the, different colors, maybe a little bit more blurred, or the names themselves were black so they would stand out more. But anyway, moving past that, the color story, we're gonna get into it when we do the swatches, but I was very curious to see in person how close some of these shades were because on, when I was looking at it on the computer or on my phone, I definitely thought these two yellows, I was like, why are there those two yellows? They seem so close. And then what other shades? These two shades I thought looked close. These two shades I thought looked close. So there's a lot in this palette. While I think it's great, it's very chaotic. So it took me a while, like looking at the palette and studying it to go like, wait a minute, there seems to be some repetitiveness in here. So that's definitely something I want to address in this video and just share with you guys and swatch them out side by side to see how close they are. So yeah, there is the palette. I should also say that as I'm using this, I wasn't really using the pink, but there's a little bit of stuff pressed into it. It almost looks like cotton. There's a little bit of fibers pressed into it. I'm gonna go ahead and take a video to show you guys as I pull it out just so you guys can see. I'm not super worried. It doesn't look super like unsanitary. It honestly just looks like something got caught when it was being pressed, or maybe when it was being put into the palette. Let me get tweezers. But I figured since I was just about to pull it out, I would just show you guys and document it for myself. Oh, it actually goes rather deep. So yeah, see, it's just like little fibers. They don't look like hair. Like I said, they honestly look like, I'm trying to think of what it looks like. I don't know, but they just look like, you know, something, the edge of something got caught and got caught in there. Looks like cotton, maybe? I don't know. I think that's it. I'm going to have to take a harder look after this and make sure I got it all out, but not trying to start drama here. I was literally just sitting here, and because I was holding it up here, I could see it kind of sticking out, and so that's why I figured I would mention it in here. Like I said, after this, I'm going to take a harder look, but that is the only shade that I see. Maybe when they're doing the pressing, a corner of something, maybe some fabric or some cotton got caught in it. Again, not trying to start drama, but just want to show you guys since I did like see it on camera and I didn't want to keep going with the video with that sticking out. I wanted to pull it out, but yeah, I don't know. Weird. Okay, now that that really weird part is out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial and then we'll get to the swatches. I'm sorry I'm putting the swatches at the end, but I figured since I'm sitting here talking with you guys, I can at least share with you guys what I did to put this on my eyes and just share with you guys the steps that I took. So let's jump into that. Alright, so first up I took greener because you guys know, I mean, look at this shade. This is such a me shade and I just had to use it. So I put that into my crease and it was very easy to blend. I had no issues. It came on very pigmented. On the brush, it blended very beautifully. This is a shade that I could have just put this in the crease and it would have looked beautiful and I could have gotten a really pretty look. But you guys know I have to try more than that. So I went in with Ain't next and I used that on the little Made by Mitchell brush. I can't even remember if I mentioned this already, but I did pick up one of his brushes. This shade was very pigmented. It took no work to show up. I was very impressed with that. Moving on past that, I ended up taking Venom and packing that on the outer corner. This shade, I'm gonna have to use it more because it just a touch, it wanted to almost not stick down, but I'm not too worried because like I said, I'm gonna have to keep using it and it was just a hint of it. After that, I did go in with Ammo and it's kind of like ammo with all the M's, but it is the black. I really wanted to try the black, so I just put a very tiny touch of that on the very outer corner just to add depth. I wanted to try the black and I can't really say much about the black except that it definitely deepened up things. Moving on to the lid, I didn't put any glitter glue down, but I did go on with Limeade and I put that on the inner half, like 1/3 of the lid, and packed that on, and as you can see it was very sheer, so I was very worried. I was like, wait a minute, this isn't gonna work, but I ended up wetting it and then going back on and it definitely helped give it a little bit more opacity to it. After that I went into Grass and just touched that all over the rest of my lid and just used that to kind of fill in the gap and mesh the dark matte shades on the outer corner with the light shimmers on the inner corner, and that one went on really well. That one definitely seemed to have a little bit more color and pigment to it. And then I took Salt Bae and I put that on my brow bone just to kind of make the brow bone not only set it, but also make it just stand out and pop a little bit more for being a little bit white and brightened, and it definitely did that. I mean, you can see the difference. It definitely made my brow bone pop a little bit, and I like a good matte, lighter brow bone. After that, I went ahead and put on my inner corner, which was Bless You, and I mean, I didn't have my bottom lash line, so I ended up having to go back over it, but I just packed this on there, and then after I finished my makeup, I did come back and I used Ammo on my lower lash line, really packed that on right against my lash line and, you know, blended it out, and then from there, I went in with a little bit of Ain't, and I used that on the rest of my lower lash line to really make that green pop. And then once that, I mean, this is beautiful. Ain't goes on so pigmentedly and so beautifully. And then as a final step, I went in with Chemtrail and I put that all on my lower lash line to kind of grunge out the whole lower lash line, and I brought that up and around. I forgot to verbally say in this voiceover, but I also brought that just a touch into my crease shade just to make that little bit of yellow grunge pop. And yeah, once that was blended out to my satisfaction, that is the look. And here are some close-up shots so you guys can really see. I finished it out with liner, lashes, and all that sort of thing. But yeah, that is my very first look using the Feet on the Ground palette. Now we can just jump right over and do some funnel swatches. Okay, so we are ready to swatch. For the starters, just initially swatching this, I just want to go row by row, and then afterwards I kind of want to pick it apart a little bit and group things together to see how similar some shades are. So let's just start going across. We have Salt Bae. I love the impressions, like the M in here. It's very pretty. And there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, so in each of the corners. Then we have Limeade, Bored in the House. I'll never get that song out of my head. Thank you, 2020. And Angelina. Alright, so I pushed up. This is an Anna Louise bracelet that I wear pretty much every day. Anyway, there's the first swatch. And then this is Limeade that I have on my inner corner. Or not inner corner, but like a first third of my lid. And as you can see, like there really isn't a whole lot of pigment to it. It's just a lot of sparkle and shine. So it does remind me of like the formula of Glam Lights shimmers. There is, what did I say? Bored in the House. That's a nice brown. It's like a gray, very muted type of brown. And then last up, We have that pink. Again, not a whole lot of color. This is Angelina. There is that. So very shiny, very pretty. Looking at it, they're both very pretty and reflective. They just don't give a whole lot of color. Okay, next up I have Bless You. Orchid. I don't know what that's referring to. Chameleon and Tulip. Is that supposed to be a play on tulip? Anyway, moving on. Let's swatch them out right here. This shade, what did I say it was? Bless You. I think I used that on my inner corner, if I remember correctly. I think that is the shade. Very pretty. Then we have that Orchid. Oh, that looks very promising. Very pretty. And then next we have Chameleon. Oh, it's like that brown, but that kind of green brown. I like those shades. And then last up we have Tulip. Doesn't look the most promising. It definitely looks a little streaky, but let's see if we can build it up. It looks pretty nice, kind of blending it out a couple more times. Okay, let's keep it moving. We have Ground and Breaking. These two look so similar, but I guess there are little differences. Mama's Garden and Earthchild. All right, so we have Ground and then Breaking. Mama's Garden. I almost used this today, and as you can see, like, there's a lot more color to it. Still a lot of sparkle, still more of like a soft color, I guess is how I would describe it, but at least it has color to it. And then last up is, what did I say? Earthchild. Oof, that's so pretty. Love that type of shade. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna go continue it and put it here. I think I'll be able to get a good shot of it for a close-up, but let's just keep it moving. We have Descendant, Tiger Lily, Clay Baby. This Clay Baby looks really pretty. And then A Mood. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick Descendant down here because it kind of goes with these other shades. Ooh, that is a really nice, like, just gray. Okay, next we have Tiger Lily. Next we have Clay Baby. Let me pull it here so I can at least see a little bit. Oh, such a pretty mustard. I like those tones. And then we have A Mood next. Okay. This one, again, just kind of like with the other one, it doesn't swatch the best. Again, this is also a deeper tone, so we'll have to see how the black swatches, but the brown swatch fairly nice, so I don't know. Okay, next we have Bittersweet. My fingers are starting to be stained. Off-Roading, Fool's Gold, Venom. All right. Ooh. Off-Roading is next. Ooh, that's a really smooth shade. Next we have Fool's Gold. This shade, again, just more of a sheer kind of wash of the sparkle. And then last up for this row we have Venom, which I did use in today's look. It's a really pretty kind of blue-green, I don't know how to describe it, but that pretty shade. This is Ammo, which is Ammo. And then we have Grass, Ain't, and Greener. Oh, and then I'm just gonna put this on my thumb. This is Chemtrail, or Chemtrail. Maybe it's Chemtrail. Oh, I forgot this is like a green theme palette. Is it like weed inspired? Maybe that's where I'm not getting some references. Anyway, wouldn't be the first time. All right, we're gonna put the black right here. Like so. Yeah, this doesn't look like the most intense black. Next up, we have Grass. There we go. I'm really having to look at the viewfinder. Ooh, that one's pretty. Then we have Ain't. I know I used this shade and I really liked it in the crease. It took like no work to put it in, or to put it on. And then we have Greener. We're just gonna fit these. Very nice. Oh, I love those types of shades. And then last up, we have Chemtrail. Are we gonna fit Chemtrail on? I'm really bad at like guesstimating and putting these swatches in nice areas because I feel like I always have one that just gets like the butt end of the deal. In this case, my bony elbow. But there you go. I can barely see it. Can you even see it? It looks like it's swatching well though, but there we go. that is the palette swatch. This side definitely looks a lot more intense. Of course, we're getting to the bottom where the more intense colors are, and then there are those. Just the first impressions swatching these, I'm not like wowed or just floored by the pigmentation of the mattes. They all feel wonderful, but they swatch very soft or that buildable formula, which isn't a bad thing. I don't want to say this and you think that I am giving it a negative review or negative first impressions, but the swatches don't impress me is basically what I'll say. However, in the next breath, I would say that applying it to my eyes, which I did first before swatching them, I was very impressed and very pleased with the look. I would say if there's any of the shadows that I was disappointed or just didn't live up to my expectations of what I was wanting, it would be the shimmers, because all the shimmers I used just felt like the shimmers were a little disappointing in how sheer they were. They didn't pack the color punch that I like to see in my shimmers, but that is honestly the only kind of first impressions, you know, disappointment there. Otherwise, the mattes, I all thought they blended in nicely to my eyes. Just swatching these and doing this eye look, I want to do more looks, so I'm really tempted to do a 3 looks 1 palette, even though I really don't have the time and I have like 2 other palettes that I want to do a 3 looks 1 palette. I just really want to do more with this because I see so many different fun looks. So let me know if I should do a 3 looks 1 palette, or maybe just do one more palette bingo and use it on the channel, just because I have so many ideas looking at this. Alright, so now that we have swatched the palette, let's go ahead and jump over and talk about the shades that I feel like are similar, and let's swatch them out and see how similar, how close they are. Well, let's go ahead and do a couple more swatches of shades that I just feel like are super, super similar, at least when I was seeing it online, and I want to swatch them out side by side to see if they really, truly are similar. So the first ones that I saw were the 2 yellows. I'm going to go ahead and throw the green in here too. It's really not close, but they're both that yellow-green, so I'm going to swatch them all side by side. But these 2 shades, when I saw the first palette reveal, I was like, what's the difference between these 2? They just look so, so very similar. Okay, so the yellows I'm just going to stick right here since there's just 3 of them. And like I said, the other one's just for curiosity's sake. But there's the first one, which is Orchid, and then the second, which is Chemtrail. And then the last one I just want to throw on just to see is Bittersweet. So this is definitely more of like a neon lime. No, I would say like a neon yellow green. Not the most pigmented. I would say all 3 don't pack that much of a punch. If any, it would be Orchid, which in the palette definitely looks the brightest. But looking at them, I mean, they're definitely kind of like you see in the palette. This one's more of a mustard yellow, and then this one's more of like a lime greeny type of yellow. So there are differences, but they're definitely very, very subtle. They're very, very close. Okay, next up, I'm going to swatch this out. This is going to be a little bit more, not random, but a little bit more widespread in the color. But I remember looking at this palette and thinking that these shades here, this shade here, and then these shades here all looked very similar. So I kind of want to swatch them all out side by side. But I think I'll do these 3 first, and I'll follow up with these 3 together because they're both kind of like that more grungy green and this more cool tone gray. So let's start with, what is that, Chameleon, Earthchild, and Greener. We'll do those 3 first. Alright, we're going to start with Chameleon. My arm is super like sparkly from all the swatches before. There's Chameleon, then we have, I think, Earthchild? Yeah, Earthchild. Ooh, it's hard to see. Kind of went awry. Earthchild, and then the last one is Greener. There are those 3. I look at this and I can justify each and every one of them, but this is kind of why I wanted to swatch it so you could see for yourself. Anyway, we're going to move on to Breaking, Ground, and Descendant. Descendant is definitely more of a gray, so not too much alike these, but we're going to swatch them out just to see. We're going to do Ground first. It's like a pinky taupe, very cool toned. Then we have Breaking. This has a little bit more warmth and also like nicer quality. I feel like it's a lot more pigmented than that one. And then last up we have Descendant, I think. Oh yeah, no difference. So here, I definitely feel like all 3 of them aren't that similar. I didn't think this was that similar, but I just wanted to swatch it because it's that same cool tone. This is definitely critiquing. Please don't take this part of the video as me like trashing this palette at all. In no way am I saying that. I was just very curious when I was looking at the palette online to see how close these shades actually were. But anyway, let's go ahead and swatch these 2 out, just out of curiosity to see how close these are. And I think, was there anything else that I wanted to swatch? We can swatch all the shimmer greens just for trying it out, but I really don't see them as being super similar. But here's the 2 purples. And yeah, these are nice and different. I don't think they're too close. One's definitely more pinky purple, and then the other one's more of a true purple. I cannot wait to use these in looks. I feel like they will just look so pretty with those grungy greens. Ooh, so beautiful. And let's go ahead and do all the shimmers. We're going to do Limeade, or the green shimmers. Limeade, Mama's Garden, Fool's Gold, and Grass, just to see how close they are. Alright, I'm going to put it right here. We have Limeade, Mama's Garden, what is this called? I think Fool's Gold, yep, and then Grass. Ooh, grass has got a lot of nice pigment. Okay, so just kind of looking this over, I feel like, okay, my battery died. But I was just saying with, what is this, Limeade and Fool's Gold, they're both so sheer of a formula that you could have just had one or the other. Definitely in this case, I feel like there's not a big difference. I would have just gone with the Limeade, and then, you know, I feel like Fool's Gold is unnecessary because if you wanted to get that depth with the shimmer, you could have just meshed it a little bit with grass and you would have gotten this more of a deeper type of shimmery green. Let's go ahead and just do Bless You, which is the other light shimmer, just to see. Yeah, these shimmers, like I was saying, kind of remind me of Glam Light, but also it makes me think of the She Glam kind of formula. They're not that soft, and being like a ColourPop Super Shock, they're not like that, but just the way they swatch and how they feel makes me think of that. And then also how sheer they are. It makes me think of the She Glam, that pastel palette I tried. Anyway, yeah, I mean, this is great for an inner corner. I'll definitely think, yeah, I definitely think that's nice to have that, and I'll definitely use it for inner corner. Like, that'll be my go-to inner corner highlight. But as far as, like, using it on the lid, I don't think I ever would, just because it's so sheer. So yeah, I think that was everything I wanted to swatch out. So yeah, those are all my swatching comparisons to see. I feel like overall, if I would have taken out the shades that I do think are kind of similar, it would have just been 2, 3, maybe 4, which isn't bad in a palette. I feel like every palette has those shades, and everyone's different with which shade, but there's those shades that are just like, you don't need that. So little tiny critiques, nothing big, but I just wanted to swatch them and see what they look like side by side. Alright, so that is pretty much the video. That's my swatch party video swatching the Feet on the Ground palette made by mmmmitchell, and also a quick little tutorial and then comparison swatches and whatnot. I really enjoyed my first time trying this palette, and as I was saying throughout the video, like, I just want to create so many more looks and show you guys so many more looks with this palette. I just feel like there's so much inspiration when I stare at this that I can see creating so many fun looks. I'm not too thrilled at the shimmers. I feel like my go-to and the looks that I'll enjoy the most are either maybe I cut the crease and put a nice concealer down and pack the shimmers on, or I just do all mattes, which I'm not mad at. This has a lot of mattes in it, a lot of very fun mattes, so I feel like I can create a lot of pretty colors. But yeah, that is just kind of my first impressions using this. Let me know if I should do another video featuring it, maybe just do a Palpalooza, or if you'd really like to see 3 more looks, let me know that down below in the comments. Also, let me know what you guys think about finding that little hair fiber. It's more of a fiber, it's definitely not a hair. Finding that little fiber in it, does that ever give you pause for concerns? I know it can cause an upset. I would say if it was a hair, I would have been a little bit more like, but since it's definitely a fiber of some type of either fabric or cotton or something that appears to have just been squashed in there, I'm not as like scared. But after this video, I'm definitely going to kind of get up close and make sure there's nothing else, make sure there's no hair, because hair just, that's gross. But since it just is it was on the very edge and just appears to be fiber, I'm not as freaked out, but let me know what you guys think. But yeah, that is gonna do it for today's video. Thank you so very much for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, per usual, give it a thumbs up on your way out, as it helps me in the whole YouTube algorithm. And if you want to continue getting daily content from me, I'm over on Instagram. I'm LadyKatie92. And yeah, per usual, with all that said, I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye, guys.